Welcome to Faithfully Healed, a sacred, trauma-informed space for those seeking peace, healing, and a deeper connection through a Christian lens. I'm Letitia Sternad, a trauma licensed therapist, a clinical supervisor, and faith-informed wellness coach. Each week we explore emotional healing, spiritual growth, quiet strength that really anchors and grounds us when we live a life rooted in truth and grace. Whether you're carrying anxiety, working through trauma, or longing for a deeper connection spiritually, you're safe here. Let's walk this path together. Hello, welcome to the Faithfully Healed podcast. I'm Letitia Sternad.
And I'm Jen Clark.
And we're here to share with you our New Year's series, which is New Year, New Start. We had our last episode. If you hadn't already listened to that, we suggest you do so, although you're welcome to start here. It doesn't have any particular order. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about setting goals and pathways around two really important topics, our physical well-being and our intellectual well-being.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
You got it perfect.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Jen, tell us a little bit about how you and your husband have morphed over time this idea of entering into goals of growth in the areas of physical wellness and or intellectual wellness when you start New Year's together, because that's what this is based off of, right?
This is based off a structure that I have used and implemented for over, 40 years of my life. And my husband and I like to set goals in certain areas of our life to make sure that we have a balance in our life. And so when it comes to physical fitness and our intellectual growth, we like to evaluate, like, where are we at right now? What is it that we want to improve on and grow on? And then what is it that I want to do as far as my continual lifelong educational learning? Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, and just be specific and be intentional to this new year.
Right.
What does that look like?
And what's interesting, too, is really emphasizing the physical and intellectual across the lifespan.
Yes.
This isn't just if you're in PE class,
Right.
or if you're taking math and English still in grade school. Like, we're doing this throughout the course of our life.
That's exactly right.
Wow. Okay.
Exactly right. Yes.
Yeah.
It's what are we doing on top of it so we can continue to grow. Yeah.
So that formation continues well into adulthood, and this is a structured way for us as adults to keep doing those things in a way that we enjoy and that we feel like we're being called to participate in those ways.
Yes, and be accountable to.
And accountable
so
to.
we can be accountable to it. So,
yeah. Any high-level strategies or tips as we go into this topic for people as they're considering goals for their physical health and their intellectual growth, because people might have had good or bad experiences this in the past. So.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. I think the first thing that you really need to think about is, what are my physical limitations that I need to work within so that I can be successful? So, if you struggle with and don't like to, for example, go on a run, don't set a marathon as your goal. Right?
Know thyself first.
Know thyself first and know what you can achieve. And like I always like to say is, you have to make your goals achievable, attainable, palatable. So when it comes to your physical health, you really need to look at where you are at and what you are able to do today. So that you can say, okay, by the end of the year, I want to be able to do this.
Yeah.
So the growth has a goal at the end.
Okay. Something that's like a SMART goal, that's
Like
attainable, that's measurable, that's within a realm of like what you enjoy, what you will do. It's a next step that's logical.
Yes.
Maybe instead of saying, I'm going to run a marathon, but I haven't ran in 20 years, probably not. I mean, maybe one could do that if you want to. Like,
or
if
just
it makes
start
sense.
with a 5K.
Yeah.
Let's just do something that we can do. And once you hit your 5K, maybe you go to a 10K.
Right.
And then you just work your way
and
up.
then build.
And then maybe by the end of the year, you do a marathon.
Right.
Or maybe that's next year's goal, you're prep for it.
Right. So
kind
instead of so not having such a big goal, but like those more bite-sized pieces you can actually achieve, measure, and see progress. Okay.
100%.
Okay. What are different things within the physical that we should be looking at?
That's such a great question. So in the genre of physical health and physical wellness, you have 3 areas that you need to make sure that you tap into. You want to tap into cardiovascular health. And I'm going to explain to you in a minute what all these different areas mean. So cardiovascular health, then you want to be strength and conditioning health, and then you want to have flexibility. And so within those, there's broken down into categories. So cardiovascular, there's aerobic and anaerobic. So aerobic exercise is something that is endurance. So it's something that you have a lower heart rate for a longer period of time. So endurance. Anaerobic is more like HIIT. You've heard of HIIT. So high intensity interval training. And that's more like sprinting. That's more like getting your heart rate up fast and then slowing down and then getting it up again and then going down. So they're both very important. So important that if you look at any of the longitudinal studies or the longevity studies that are out there right now, because that's a hot topic right now.
Yeah.
And longevity, you need three things. And the number one thing is you have to have a strong heart. And that's your VO2 max. And that means what is your heart rate at your lowest. I mean, these are big words, I know.
Yeah.
And you can look them up. You can if you want. But at rest. So after you've done something vigorous, how quickly can your heart go back to its normal regular beat? So, and then the second thing is your lungs. So your heart, your lungs, and your muscles.
Yep.
So those three things determine if you're going to live to 100 or not. So anyway, so cardiovascular is the heart and the lungs. And then the strengthening and conditioning. So we know that we have to have muscle. And as we age, we start to atrophy. So everything after age 30, you young people enjoy. Build up your strength that you attain and retain your muscle a lot easier and longer than you do after you hit age 30. So it's like 1% a year. And by the time you hit 35, it's like 9% a year. If you're not doing anything, you lose your muscle. So you have to have strength and conditioning. And I'm going to show you how to set goals to maintain and to have health, because that is your muscle is what determines your ability to, have life experience, have life enjoyment, have connection with people. You need to be able to get out and move
later in
and
your
travel.
years of
Later
life
in your years
to be able to
of
have
life.
movement and function, to have those experiences
you.
when you're later.
Yes, like when you travel, being able to take your suitcase and put it above your head in the airplane. So strength and conditioning. And then the flexibility is we need to make sure that we have elasticity and range of motion. That's really what that's all about. So that if you start to trip as you get older, you can catch yourself because you have to be able to extend your foot, or you have to be able to pull out your arm, or you have to be able to, your range of motion is important.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What I like about this framework that you and your husband have developed and you're sharing with us is that it's looking at your health and well-being over time versus New Year's resolutions, which people usually flop on after a week or two.
Yes.
Is this, I'm going to lose 10 pounds or I'm going to do this. I'm like, not dogging that, but I am, because I'm like, it just doesn't work and it makes us feel bad. And then we feel shameful or guilty or don't feel good enough. Then it turns into this negative cycle in our thinking versus thinking about ways we can love our body and take care of our body and do these small things that give us health and growth.
Yes.
And that's, certainly something we want to emphasize in this year with this framework you're giving.
Absolutely.
Versus old mentalities of what New Year's resolutions are or how we approach the new year.
Exactly. So the physical fitness part is those three. And plus you need to have rest, because rest is where your body rebuilds. And sometimes that's all you need to take a day off.
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way. So yes, you need to take a day off.
Yes.
And then the other pieces of your physical health is your nutrition. You need to make sure you're feeding your body in a way that it is going to excel and maximize your vitality, if you will. So the nutrition piece. And then, of course, it's the self-care. So just making sure that you give yourself some love and you give yourself some pampering, because that is important too. So everything from, hot baths, saunas, hot tubs, things like that, to things like giving yourself exfoliation and like taking care of your nails and taking care of your, your teeth, just things like that. Just really, I know it sounds like, well, duh, but a lot of times we forget to do that sometimes. And it really, when you neglect that part of yourself, you can get yourself in a fun place.
Yeah. Well, and I think this really emphasizes the importance of what we know is true about us as people. Like, we're soul body composites.
Yes.
We're both soul and body, both matter. And both being Catholic Christians, we really believe in a loving God that loves us individually, uniquely, individually as
Amen to that, yes.
And God asks us to love our neighbor as ourselves.
Yes.
So therefore we have to love ourselves. And that's really hard. When you really look at the corners of our heart and how we really treat ourselves, how we talk to ourselves. And so those signs of loving ourselves through getting rest, taking time to take care of our body, to go for a walk, or to have a time to exfoliate our skin, or to brush our hair, or, those things is a sign that we are loving ourselves. So it's different than maybe a more commercial perspective in our consumer society of like self-care and like buy this and do that, from a place that's not fully ordered to love and goodness towards ourselves.
Right.
Right. So the similar activity could be not ordered well to God.
Right.
And not ordered well to that. And so I know sometimes people go, well, I can't do that. That's selfish and that's not being really loving or Christian because you're not thinking about other people. It's like, well, you have to love yourself in the right way so you can outpour and love other people.
That's right.
So I want to emphasize that for
Yeah.
folks, just in case you're wondering, like, this doesn't sound faithfully healed. It is faithfully healed. It's aligned to that good.
It is aligned to that. And what we have to remember is our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
And so let's look about how God ordered Noah, how God ordered to build an ark, how God ordered to build his temple. He was very, very specific, and it had to be perfect, and it had to be beautiful. Beautiful in God's eyes, beautiful.
Yeah.
Because this is where God was dwelling. That was where he's going to show up. And now we're it.
We are it.
So we have to
We
take
are
it.
it.
We are it.
We are the church.
We are the church.
We are
It's
the
right
church.
here.
Yeah.
And so taking care of our bodies doesn't mean that we're being narcissistic or that we're being ego oriented. No, it's you have to do it on a level that is just you're taking care of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And making sure you're doing everything necessary
Yeah.
to be your best you.
Yes.
Do whatever you can to be your best you.
Right. So that physical domain, the nutritional domain. So you said movement. It's also the self-care.
The self-care.
The self-care.
So, so talking about specifics. So how do I then set the goal for physical? So what my encouragement to you to start with is find out what it is that you enjoy doing. So if it's running, then run, walking, then walk, biking, then bike. So write it out. Okay, so I love biking. All right, so let's think about that. I want to make sure I get on my bike to do cardiovascular workout maybe 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Just set a goal that you can attain. Start small because you can always make it bigger as you evaluate each year. And write that down on your paper, whatever it is that where you're setting your goals. And then, okay, so that's my cardio. What is my HIIT? So my HIIT, so I got to at least get my heart rate up a couple times a week, maybe 1 to 2 times a week.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's set that as a goal. And then I'm going to do for my HIIT workout, I'm going to go to the track and I'm going to do interval training. Or I'm going to go to the pool and I'm going to do interval training on laps. Or I'm going to hire a personal trainer
Sure.
and learn how to do it. They're going to
Right.
teach me how to do it.
Right. Get a professional
Get
in
a
there.
professional in there.
Get them to work. Put them to work.
Put them to work. Make them earn
Hire
that.
Jen.
I'll be your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, you would.
So that's where you start with that. So you write that down. And then you go to, okay, strength training and conditioning. Well, we need to do that at least 1 to 2 times a week. And that can be anything from body weight training. So, and making sure that you challenge your muscles in all 3 planes of motion. And you might want to get a book or go online and look at how do I do a full body workout? What does that look like? Just my own body weight.
Yeah.
Then, because if you're starting from scratch, like you've never lifted weights before. If you've lifted weights before, then go ahead and go do, lift your dumbbells and have goals with how much weight you want to be able to do by the end of the year. Full body. I encourage you to do full body. And then with flexibility, that is something that we should probably do like every night. And no,
I need to do that.
horrible
That needs to be
at that.
mine. Oh, yes.
It needs to be mine
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
So, and like Letitia, your passion is dancing. It is like a form of dancing
In the air.
In the air.
Aerial acrobatics
Aerial acrobatics.
with a rope.
So how cool is
Yeah.
that? So that can be something. That can be the goal because woo, that's
Right.
a workout.
So I would even say someone who's been in the gym lifting weights, put the weights down
Yes.
and come into a rope class and climb a rope and do some things in the air or a straps workout. That will get you so strong. And it was interesting when I started doing cross training and did a lot more acrobatics. That's when I finally was able to start getting consistent pull-ups.
Oh wow.
So I actually stopped
Wow.
doing traditional weight training for a few years and just went straight to body weight conditioning, doing acrobatics.
Yeah.
And after, I don't know, I didn't try, but maybe within 2 or 3 years, I went back to a gym and I can do 3 pull-ups in a row now.
Wow. That's remarkable. That's good.
With never been able to do one.
That's incredible.
And I started that in my late 30s. So this is for anyone's age.
love that.
Yeah.
And it's expression. So not only do you
Yes.
get to exercise, but you get to use music and have expression
Yes.
with your movement. How beautiful is that combination?
It's really,
Wow.
yeah, and any age. And there's a lot of people that I know, men and women, that go into acrobatics, for example, that, aerial acrobatics later in life. There's a lot of people I train with that are, 40s and 50s, and there's some people in their 60s. And they start later. And so it doesn't need to be aerial acrobatics for you. It could be literally just starting to go for a walk or become a runner or
That's right.
be a person who goes to gym a few days a week. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can start anytime.
Amen.
It's that mindset that can make us feel like we can't.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So there, you can be creative, you know. Take a fitness class. Do you like aerobics? Do you like kickboxing? That's perfect.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. So yeah, then make sure that you rest at least
absolutely.
1 to 2 days a week, where it could be active rest, where you just maybe take a stroll with your dog, or it can just be complete rest, where it's like, you know what, I just need to unplug today, and that's okay.
And really listening to your body.
Listening to your body.
And don't push it, because you can
Goodness.
overtrain and get injured, which we both have.
Yes.
We've both done that.
We've both done that.
both
To
done
the
that.
extent of like nerve damage, and it's like, we're like, you
Yeah,
want that.
not recommend it.
You don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. So so resting is important, and plug that in like an appointment.
And even sometimes if you're really into this domain of your growth this year, out of all the despised different topics you're presenting in this series, if you're really focused on the physical, I would even add, we need weeks of rest. So if you're getting really into
bet.
your physical, after like a 3 months, I would say even a full week of just light walking
Light walking. Perfect.
and just scale back. And you'll actually come back stronger.
You will.
Whatever
I
it
have
is you're
learned
doing.
that just with myself, because being a personal trainer and fitness instructor, it was really easy to overdo it.
I bet, yeah.
And it wasn't until I had to cut back, because God had to give me a 2x4 in the head.
Yeah.
And I came back. I took 2 weeks off, and I came back, and it was like, holy smokes! I was stronger.
Yeah.
I had more endurance. It was pretty remarkable, and it helped me sleep at night better.
Yep.
Sleeping at night is humongous. We need 8 hours.
Yep, absolutely.
And I am learning how powerful that really is. You need that REM sleep. So
Great.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And maybe just a small note of nutrition, because this isn't like other New Year's resolutions where I'm doing this diet. I mean, maybe you do, but there's some really simple things you can do with nutrition as well, right? Maybe we can finish with that.
Yeah, let's finish with that. So nutrition is important. So when it comes to nutrition versus exercise, nutrition actually has the upper hand when it comes to your weight. And when it comes to your health through your skin and blood circulation and things like that. So nutrition is, you want to make sure that you eat healthy, clean, living food. In this day and age, we have so much chemical in our products that we buy in the grocery store that comes in the form of bags and boxes and chips and things like that. And really, if you cannot read the label, if the ingredients, if there's more than 5, and if you can't pronounce one of them or 2 of them or 3 of them, then that's probably not a healthy food. You need to pronounce everything and have the fewer ingredients, the better. 1 to 3 ingredients is the best thing to do. So if it has a mother, if you can pluck it, if you can pull it, then those are things that are clean. So that means, you know, things like fruits, vegetables, protein in the form of animal protein, fish protein, and then in the form of, so fruits, vegetables, protein, and what is it?
No, I think you've got the main hitters.
Okay.
Yeah,
So those
grains
are,
and
grains.
things like that.
There you go. So
You're plucking grains.
You're plucking grains, eating whole grains. So,
Yeah.
and it's okay so make sure that those are the primary foods you eat. And if you need help with like structure on like, what does a healthy plate of food look like? My encouragement to you is there are all kinds of programs out there. My Plate, there are diets like Mediterranean diet or carnivore or vegetarian or whatever. You can actually go on if you want to find a program that can help you structure breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then I encourage it.
Yeah.
I've tried them all because
That's
I think
great.
I like to see what other people are doing and feel what they're feeling and what works for them and what works for me.
Yeah.
So
So really, as we're looking at this topic of your physical health and your emotional pieces, it's one step at a time. It's one bite-sized goal. Literally, maybe it's an apple.
literally,
You know, but it's putting in one piece at a time and just moving forward. And then when we miss a day or backslide, it's a new year, it's a new start, and that's every day you wake up.
That's every day you wake up. I like new year, new start. I like new week, new start. I like new season, new start, new month, new start. I'm good on that. One thing I'd like to add extra too is we need water and the significance of water. And I want you to visualize, because this has to do with both drinking water and exercise. I want you to visualize in your head, close your eyes and visualize a marsh. And when you look at a marsh has all kinds of, it's non-moving water and it's still and it has all kinds of things growing in it and lots of chemicals that are not good. You don't want to go into a marsh. Then I want you to visualize a stream coming off a mountain.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so that's nice and blue, and you can see the rocks on the bottom, and it's clear. It's because there's plenty of it.
Plenty of it.
And it's fresh, and it's moving. And so that's where exercise is important. You have to move your body to move the water, to flush it through, and then you need to replenish with water.
Yeah.
I mean, you can drink other things. You can have coffee, you can have tea.
Sure.
But water needs to be at least, 4 to 6 cups a day.
Yeah, that's a
Glasses
great
day.
visual.
Yeah.
It's highly motivating.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's very good. All right.
So, finishing with that.
Yeah, thank you guys for connecting with us. We hope you join us in future episodes. We've got another part of this series, so definitely tune in on that. And we've got more to come this year in the Waterfield Council. We're going to having some community events, other things for the liturgical calendar to apply our wellness to.
Yes.
So we hope that you stay tuned, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye. See you next time.
Thank you for joining me today on Faithfully Healed. If this episode brought you some insights, peace, clarity, I invite you to subscribe, leave a review, or share someone who might need a gentle word of encouragement. Remember, healing is holy work, and you're not meant to do this alone. Until next time, may you be in peace, held by grace, and guided by the Spirit. Peace be with you.